everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lily, and I'm so excited to be talking at you guys again. Like I talked about in my last video, we are going to do an original line taste test with some of the new Barista Creations pods that they have. If you did not watch my video a couple videos ago, please feel free to go back and watch it because I go into a little bit more about the flavor profiles and all that fun stuff of these pods. However, basically it looks like they took all of the vanilla eclair, you know, the small little original line espresso pods that are supposed to be flavored in the Barista Creations line and revamped them, making them lungos. So I'm really intrigued to see how these are going to taste. I've really only tried the Nocciola pod and I really liked it, at least in the cappuccino form that I had it in. And they do recommend it as a cappuccino. So I will be tasting them plainly as lungos without any cream or milk and without any syrup. Then I'm going to try them as cappuccinos that way, and I'll probably pair them with a syrup. If we have time today, I might put them over ice. Usually with cappuccinos, I don't really put them over ice. I always have them hot. So we'll see. We'll see if we can. Depends on how long they take to cool down, because I know with these are a little bit more coffee volume. It might take a little bit longer. So we will get into it. I think the first one I'm going to try is the Nocciola pod. It's supposed to be more hazelnutty and replace the hazelnut pod that they had in the original line. I don't remember what that pod was called. I know in the virtual line it's called Hazelnut Muffin. In fact, this is so bad, I don't even remember them having a hazelnut one. But, you know, I wasn't really into all the flavored coffees and stuff when I first started out with my Nespresso journey. So we will see how this tastes, and let's get into it. Okay, so I just brewed the pod. It did make, again, quite a bit of coffee because it is a lungo, and oh my god, y'all. This smells so good. If you guys have had this pod and you've tried it before, please let me know how you enjoy the smell. It tastes exactly like hazelnut. I've yet to try it just plain like this, but the scent is just amazing. The aromatics, I'm telling you, it just makes the pod. So, with the lungos, again, I've said this a couple of times in my previous videos. I think by themselves, they kind of taste like watered down dirt. However, I think that these flavored ones really add that oomph to it, because it does taste, I don't know if you've ever tried a light roasted coffee and you put it over ice and it just kind of melted the ice too fast. You put it in fresh and hot and it started watering down pretty fast. That's kind of what this tastes like. It tastes very light. And it does have that taste of hazelnut. I'm not disappointed with it. But just know, if you really enjoy a bold, strong espresso taste, that kind of is lost in general with almost all the lungos I've ever tasted. So for this one, definitely applies like that. I do think it kind of has a earthy taste, but the hazelnut in it, I'm just so shocked at how well they got it, because it does taste like hazelnut. It doesn't taste like regular watered down dirt, if that makes sense. So I do think that, especially for the price, I think that these lungos were $8 or something for the whole sleeve, which of course is original line. You're getting smaller coffee volume, all that fun stuff. I don't know what, I know because it's a long shot, I don't know if it has more caffeine or if the caffeine's just kind of watered down. I figured the latter, but you know, if you are really trying to cut down on caffeine intake, I guess, and you want the regular water volume of 2 or 3 shots of espresso, I think that this is a good buy. I mean, I usually only use one at a time. Sometimes if I really need a big pick-me-up in the morning, we all have those rough days. I do 2 lungos and just kind of make it a big, almost like an iced coffee type of thing. But I think that this is good on its own. I'm not disappointed with it. And I'm intrigued to see how it's going to taste like they recommend it, which is either a lungo like this or a cappuccino. So I'm going to go warm up some oat milk with the Cretista setting on cappuccino, and we're going to see how this tastes. This tastes really good by itself though. I've made a cappuccino with the lungo as well as oat milk. Like I said, I use a 0 sugar oat milk from Chobani, and I filled it up to the minimum line in the Cretista pitcher that they give you and put it on the cappuccino setting that they have. And it's supposed to be a 3 froth level. I will say, just with plant-based milks in general, I think the Cretista definitely is not prepared for them. I think that if you want to get some really good results, cafe style milk, you're definitely going to want to use a breve, a cream, or a whole milk, or a 2% maybe even, they would use in a general cafe. But for the plant-based milk, I think this did pretty well. I mean, it did get a little bit of latte art going there, okay? So I'm intrigued to try this without any syrup. So just the milk and the lungo. So just like smelling it, I don't think the hazelnut has completely gone away, but it's definitely very faint. I think that just off smell, I can barely even smell the hazelnut unless I like get in really close. I don't know if it's just the oat milk, but like it like accentuated the hazelnut flavor. I hope that you guys try it like this and really vibe with what I'm talking about. Like, I hope I don't sound crazy, but wow, that's really impressive. I'm giving props. Okay, I'm giving props. This is amazing. I usually don't like my hot coffee, I will say. So this is very impressive for me to really enjoy this. I think this is something right up my alley. I think if I had to try a hot coffee, it would be exactly like this. Maybe with some hazelnut syrup, of course, because not really into just drinking it like this. But I think that if you're okay with drinking it plain, like I would. If I was forced to, I definitely would. Wow, that is really good. Okay, so you guys, I have to try with some hazelnut syrup. You guys already know. So I'm gonna try like maybe 2 pumps in here of the hazelnut syrup and we'll get back to you. Okay, so it ended up being like 1.5 pumps with this hazelnut Jordan skinny syrups. I do really like this hazelnut syrup. I would like to try like a toasted hazelnut in another brand like Monin, but I think this is a really solid hazelnut flavor. I do really like it. So if you guys are looking for a syrup, definitely try that out. Again, I have the partnership with them. You get 10% off your first order on their website. And I forgot to tell you guys. So I finally became an Amazon storefront affiliate, whatever. So I have a storefront now. I've listed almost all the syrups I could find on Amazon that I have here on my Amazon storefront. So if you're ever like, where did Lily get that syrup? Whatever. I do buy a lot of my syrups on Amazon and or like at TJ Maxx, you know, those little department stores that have these syrups for cheaper. I have bought some from the actual website. So if you guys are just wanting like a decent price location to find all these syrups, please feel free to look on my Amazon. I've now listed basically every or all machines that I had or have. I also listed as many cups as I could find, my syrups, all the accessories that I remember to put in there. So if you guys are watching my videos and you're like, where did you get that, Lily? It's on your Amazon storefront. Just feel free to put it in the comments, message me on any of my social medias, and I will try to put those on there as much as possible. But I'm so excited. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for making this happen. I'm so excited. Okay, so let me try the hazelnut. I was about to say hazelnut muffin. We all know that's not it. So let's try it like this. Sorry, I have to go back for more. Okay, so overall, I think that this is gonna be a 9.5 out of 10. This is, or you know what, I'll do a 9.8. You know, I thought maybe my 9.5 would be the next. I like to round, okay? But I'm gonna give this an exact rating. This is gonna be a 9.8. Always things that they could improve. I think this would be even better in an espresso. I'm always thoroughly impressed when they do like the raspberry holiday in the original line pod, where you could just really smell and taste the raspberry, and it would go beautifully with a raspberry latte. I think that if they made this into a more concentrated espresso, this would be just absolutely amazing. Wow. So if you do like hazelnut, definitely do this. One other note that I want to do before we move on to the Cioccolatino, I apologize. Don't know how to pronounce that still. But I think that if you're trying to pair this pod with other syrups other than hazelnut, or maybe even like chocolate, stuff that pairs well with hazelnut, you might be disappointed. So unless you are a diehard hazelnut lover, I think that maybe steer away from this pod. I think even now, like just putting milk with it, watering it down, you can still very much taste the hazelnut in it. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just a little bit more sensitive to certain like tastes like hazelnut and stuff like that. Maybe some of you might try it and you don't feel the same way. But I think that, you know, if you do not like hazelnut, do not get this pod, okay? I really like hazelnut. We're hazelnut people, so I think this would go well with any of ours. So yeah, highly recommend. I'm gonna go put this down and we will try the other pod. This one, the Cioccolatino. Let's brew this and we'll see. I've yet to try this plain. I've yet to try this at all, honestly, so we'll see how it is. I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but I do think that like just after brewing it, the chocolate pod is a little bit lighter than the hazelnut pod after brewing. I don't know if it's my machine. I did clean out both my machines last night. I like to do it once a week to make sure nothing built up in there. So I'm assuming it's just the pod, the nature of the pod. So I'm intrigued to see how this is. Okay. That smells like bean. Like, it smells like they straight up got this straight off the cocoa bean itself, y'all. Like, if y'all can bond over what this smell is, like, I don't know what it is. I don't. It smells like just interesting all around. So, like, I don't know, it tastes like raw, like, cacao. Like, you know what I mean? You know, I feel like when I first tried, like, cacao nibs or cacao in general, like, I was really straight up expecting it to be, like, sweeter or at least richer, I guess, because, you know, that's, when you grow up, that's how you envision chocolate to be. And when, you know, cacao is, like, unprocessed, you know, just the rawest form of chocolate there is, you're just kind of, like, tasting it and you're like, wow, this is bitter. Wow, this is, like, earthy tasting. That's exactly what I'm getting in this pod. I think that they definitely nailed the taste of it. I just don't really like the taste of it. This is one of those pods, lungos, that straight up taste like dirt. And I don't think that that hint of like hazelnut or that hint of whatever it is going to cover that taste. Yeah, no, that's bitter. I think it's like, it's balanced, but it's definitely like, it's a weird mix of like watered down and bitter. If you guys have tried this pod, like, let me know what you think of it. Maybe that's just me. Definitely, I don't think I'm going to repurchase this pod. I don't think it's a bad pod. Don't think it's a bad pod. I think they did what it was supposed to be done with this, is what I mean. But I think that this is just not my cup of coffee. So yeah, let's see what it is like with some milk. I do have a chocolate macadamia nut syrup that I think will go really well with this, just tasting it. Again, definitely not going to drink it black like this. Absolutely not. But I do think it's like, if you like bitter coffee, if you like bigger cups of coffee, I think this is going to be it for you. And I think the bright side of this is that if you try to, like, you know, put it over ice or something, I don't think it's going to water down that coffee taste, so to speak. So that's a benefit. Second benefit is that it's very flexible. You could probably pair a lot of, like, syrups with it because there's not a distinct, like, oh my God, I have to pair it with this syrup because of that aftertaste type of thing. Like for the hazelnut pod, the raspberry pod from the holiday selection, I think that those raspberry and hazelnut flavors are so strong that it's kind of hard to mask them with other things and completely get them away from that taste. I think that this could go well with a lot of things. So that is some benefit to getting this type of lungo. Let's try it with some milk. I'm gonna warm up some oat milk again in the cappuccino style on my Cretista, and we're gonna see how it tastes. Okay, just warmed up some milk in a cappuccino style, and we're gonna taste this pod with just the milk. So smelling it, it still does have like that raw, like cacao smell, which is very impressive with the oat milk. Let's give it a taste. I don't think it's gonna be a promising taste, but I do think it's kind of impressive. I do think like the milk overpowers, like the taste of the milk overpowers this pod. I do like that it masks that raw taste a little bit, that earthy taste. I do think that this is a good pod. I don't think I would buy it again just because of my own personal preferences, but I think again, if you just wanted a solid lungo that doesn't taste too flavored, doesn't taste too bitter, I think that this is a good one. I think just based off this, I'm going to give it like a 6. Again, personal preferences, has nothing to do with this pod. I think I'm hurting this pod's feelings by saying that. Don't listen to me. But I do think that, you know, it really just depends on you. If you like that raw, like earthy, almost like rich, you know, very dark chocolatey kind of taste. Like, I like dark chocolate, like 70% dark chocolate, I guess. I don't think I could go beyond the 70% because that's kind of what this reminds me of, that really bitter, rich, dark chocolate taste. So if you like that, definitely give it a try. I think for my preferences, it's going to be a 6 because I don't, like, it might be a good staple to have, but I don't think it's worth it for me. Monetarily, I think this is a good price for this pod. Like, $8 a sleeve, again, you can't go wrong with it. I think this is a pretty good bargain for this pod. I'm gonna try it with the chocolate macadamia nut syrup, and we'll see how it ranks up after that, I guess. For your guys' records, I used the chocolate macadamia nut sugar-free syrup from Torani. That is what I put in here, and I put 2 pumps in it. Wow, that syrup tastes really good with this. This is baller. I think that's how I'm gonna have it. I think the reason I chose like this syrup and not like a sauce is because I think that the nuttiness from this syrup, like there is kind of like some nutty, like I said, beany notes to this pod that I think the macadamia brings out. And I think that the chocolate taste for that syrup, this syrup, is a really good balance of both. I think it's a really nice chocolatey taste. I don't think it's too artificial tasting. I know that there are some chocolates out there that you buy from certain syrup companies and you're like, okay, this tastes, you know, I don't know. I think that they did a really good job with that syrup. So that mixed with this pod, A1 stuff. I haven't tried it with like a chocolate sauce or like a mocha sauce, I should say. I don't think that that would be that good with this, to be quite frank, but I can try that later with it. I do think this is good though. I rate this drink like a 7, but I still rank the pot a 6. I think that that's firmly where it stands. So those are my final tallies for both these cups of coffee. I'm gonna also try them iced, so stay tuned for just a few minutes while these cool down, and I will be back at you guys with them iced. I went back to the hazelnut pod, and I'm really excited to try this ice because you guys already know I'm an iced gal. So I put some ice in here. Let's give it a taste. That's it. This hits the spot. This is like hazelnut all the way. The smell still smells like hazelnut. Taste is on par with the hazelnut. It just tastes really good. I do think that, again, the problem with icing the lungos is that they do get really watered down. The hazelnut taste, because I added the syrup, the pod is very hazelnutty. I think that the taste is fine. I just like the strength. Like, I kind of still like that espresso strength in my coffee, and this is just not giving that. In fact, I think I like this better hot than I did iced. Like, for all you hot coffee drinkers, this is where it's gonna be at. And I'm guessing I'm gonna feel the same way about that one. Let's ice the other pod, and that'll be wrapping up our ratings for today. Okay, final taste test with this chocolate original line pod iced. I will say, I ate my words, okay? I think that this is better iced than it was hot. That's my opinion. Wow, I really like that. I think that this is gonna be, I'll probably bring up the rating a little bit. I think that this will be like a solid 6.5, 6.5. I think that this is a good pod, but again, just, I have my little pet peeves with it. It's just me, it's just me. It's not you guys, it's me, so. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good with that syrup and iced. So those are my final tallies for both of those pods, the Nocciola pod and the Cioccolatino pod. Overall, I don't think they're going to be disappointments if you choose to buy them. I personally think the Nocciola is going to be a little bit better, but if you're not a hazelnut person, definitely don't get that. Maybe go for the Cioccolatino or for another lungo they have out there. So yeah, I'm glad I got to taste test those for you guys. Let me know what you think if you've already gotten these pods. Feel free to let me know if you think I'm crazy, if you feel the exact same way, if you really, really like both the pods. I'd love to hear your recipes that you've come up with them. and I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Next week, or in the next couple weeks, I should say, maybe, I'm going to be doing a Cometeer coffee review. I got my shipment from them, and I've tried a couple of the vendors, and I think that they taste really, really good. So feel free to use my discount link below and get $20 off your first subscription. Or check out any of my other partners down below. I'm going to have a few more videos in the upcoming future about featuring some of those third-party, either third-party Nespresso pods or just other coffee products that I think are going to be good alternatives if you don't have a Nespresso or an espresso machine. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, sharing love, and please let me know if you have any episode requests, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Bye, guys.